Hi, welcome back to Ceramics at TGS. Today I'm going to show you how to glaze your bisqueware, okay? A reminder that once your work has been fired one time, it's called bisqueware. So today what you're going to need is a fired piece of ceramics and some glaze and a paintbrush and a dish of water and a dry rag. So to get started, place your work on some newspaper, and when you are ready to glaze, you're going to want to get the glaze and give it a shake. Okay, make sure that the lid is on tightly, or else your glaze will just fly everywhere and that will be disastrous. So make sure that lid is on, shake it up, okay, combine it, and then you're going to be ready. So when you're glazing, make sure that you're not pouring glaze into another container. If somebody has the glaze that you want to use, then you'll need to sit next to them so that you can share the glaze. And you're just going to put your paintbrush right inside the glaze bottle. Make sure your paintbrush is clean because you don't want to contaminate your glaze. So I'm going to start on the inside, and when I'm glazing I need 3 layers. So what that means is you apply 1 layer, you let it dry, and then you apply the 2nd layer, you let that dry, and then you apply the 3rd layer, and you're done. Sometimes you forget, did I do a 3rd layer? Is this my 4th layer? If you forget and you accidentally apply 4 layers, that's going to be okay. But you don't want to apply more than 5, because that can, when we fire it, can flow off of your project and seal itself to the shelf of the kiln. So the inside has a nice thin layer. Now I'm ready to start glazing the outside. You're going to want to make sure that you use the right paintbrush for the job. So if you're glazing larger areas, you want to make sure that you have a large paintbrush. If you're trying to glaze a little intricate area, you're going to want to use a smaller paintbrush, obviously. And you're not ever going to want to glaze the bottom of your work, because again, once this is fired, this glaze becomes like liquid glass and it can seal itself to the shelf of the kiln. And when that happens, not only does your project get destroyed, the shelf of the kiln also can get damaged and ruined. So we want to make sure that we're being very careful not to get glaze on the bottom or the foot of the work. So if you do your glazing and you accidentally forget, you can just get a damp sponge and you can wipe off the glaze. Because before the glaze is fired, it's just like a chalky, kind of powdery substance, and it's not permanent. So if you make a mistake, it's really easy to fix it before it gets fired. So we wait and we let that become more of a chalky looking surface instead of a shiny one. And I can see I have some streaks here that indicate that this layer is not completely dry, so I need to wait. And it just probably takes a couple of minutes for that to happen. I'm looking it over, trying to see, is it dry? I've been waiting. I can see there are some dark areas on the inside, so I need to wait just maybe 5 more minutes before I move on to the next layer. As I'm looking at this now, I can see that it's dry all over, okay? there aren't any dark areas or shiny areas that would indicate I have some undried glaze. So I'm ready to do my next layer. So what I'm going to do is use this different glaze, and I'm going to create a layered effect. So you don't want to mix the glaze, but what you want to do, you can do, is layer it. So you don't want to pour this into another container and mix it with green or any other thing. What you want to do is wait for one layer to dry, and then if you want to, you can create different types of colors like a yellow-green by just layering them. Again, make sure that your paintbrush is dry. Make sure that your glaze is, you shake it up nicely so it's combined, and dip your brush in. And then I'm just gonna, again, start from the inside and do that layer. And since my previous layer is dry, I don't have to worry that I'm gonna contaminate this yellow. If you do pick up a little green, just rinse your brush in your dish of water, and that should take care of it. So I'm gonna get a nice liberal amount for that layer. Then I'm ready to put another layer on the surrounding areas of this tea bowl. And this should create an interesting yellow-green effect when I'm done. Now I'm ready for my third layer, and I'm gonna do my third layer with the same yellow. I have 3 coats. The bottom layer is green, and the additional 2 layers are yellow, and they're pretty much dry. So what I'm gonna do next is create a dripping effect. So in order to do this, I'm going to get the violet, because I think this is gonna be a nice contrast. And I'm going to apply a liberal amount along the top edge of my tea bowl. And you can see that's gonna begin to drip down the sides. You can add a little more, just adding it to the rim generously, and then you can let gravity run its course.